Welcome to a community chat. My name is Diane Estes, and I am the School and Community Relations Director for the Lebanon School District. Glad to have you back on the program, and I'm excited to talk today with some folks that are doing the extended learning opportunities at the high school. And we're going to start right off with introducing you to Joy Gobin. Joy, tell us a little bit about what you do at the high school.
So as the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator, I have the distinct privilege of helping students fulfill some dreams, helping them earn credits in areas that they have passions about that might not necessarily be available within the school. And Damon is a perfect example who's utilized a variety of ELOs.
Great. So why don't we talk with Damon right now, and then we'll come back to you because I want to know a little bit more about what an ELO.
Okay.
ELO. I can't roll that off my tongue, Joy, but you must roll it off your tongue
all
every
the time.
Every day. Damon, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here. So why don't you tell us your name and what you have done for your ELOs?
Okay, I'm Damon French, and I'm a senior at the high school, and I've done a variety of ELOs. I've done a few courses online. I'm taking a few courses online through the virtual learning charter school.
Okay.
I've done a short story writing thing in the school with a teacher there to sort of improve my writing skills, and I'm also taking a course at Dartmouth, Archaeology of the Ancient Near East it's called at the moment.
Wonderful. So, and you're not doing all three right now?
Actually, I am doing all
You
three.
are doing
Yeah.
all three right
Yeah.
now. Man, so I was going to...
He's done them in the past as well.
Okay. And well, let's come back. We'll come back to you, and I want to ask you a little bit more specifically about some of the things that you're doing, Damon. But Joy, could you just tell us what does ELO mean for our viewers? And you mentioned that they would get school credit. So I guess just for a quick review, if you
Sure.
don't mind, what they are and what a little bit about the components of an ELO.
Sure. So an extended learning opportunity is an opportunity for a student to earn credit maybe in a non-traditional way. So we all know that students can earn credits by being in classes, doing their work, passing all their exams, participating. An ELO allows students to earn credits in things they may have a passion in. It may be in karate, it may be in learning about equestrian and studies. It's really varied. It can be science, math, art, social studies. There's really no limit as to what an extended learning opportunity is. The component that the school adds is we tie an academic piece to it. So all ELOs have four components, the first being the research piece, where a student has to do more in-depth research, even though it's something they've done a long time. They pick a specific area within the field that they've studied and go more in depth.
I see.
They do a reflective piece, which they do a weekly reflection and then a summative reflection, where they would share what their takeaways were, what they learned, what they felt was beneficial, and where it can go from there. The third component is a product where it may be an online presentation, it could be a show, it could be a video. It really depends on what the individual student chooses as a final presentation. A product. And then the fourth is the board panel and presentation where the student has myself, an administrator, their community member, teacher, and their parents or anybody who they would like to invite. They can invite friends, whoever they're interested, and they teach us what they've learned.
Okay.
What were their experiences, and demonstrate the competencies that they can say, this is what I've learned and this is what I've taken away and this is what I can do now. And at that point, we have rubrics that are tied to all of the components that the panel reviews as a group, and then we give a grade to the student. But the students know right up front what the rubrics are, what the expectations are, and what they're focusing on.
Okay.
There's no hidden agenda because it's driven by the student.
I see. Well, that's wonderful. So now, will some of these students be doing their ELOs obviously outside of the classroom, especially if it's a passion that might take them outside? But would some of them be doing them during the day as well in a traditional school day?
Some of the students do, because we also, one component we add is we participate with the Virtual Learning Academy Charter School, which is VLAX, and students can take online courses that we don't offer, or they could take classes that we offer, but frequently a lot of students that participate in ELOs have pretty diverse interests.
Yes.
So they may have taken all of the science courses or all of the specific social studies that they're interested in, and they can get additional information by taking online courses,
understand.
such as what Damon's doing.
Okay, well, let's.
I was going to say,
didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
but that can happen during the school day
Of course.
if it's built in. So it's really flexible.
Okay, great. So Damon, you're doing 3 currently, and each one, are you finding them quite different?
Yeah, they're all pretty different experiences because with the Dartmouth course I'm taking, I'm actually going up to Dartmouth 3 days a week, and I'm doing a class there in an actual physical classroom. For the classes I'm taking online, I'm just doing that through a computer and answering questions and doing stuff for that. But then with my creative writing ELO, I'm meeting with a teacher at the actual high school once a week about what I've written and getting feedback on that. So they're all pretty different experiences.
Sure. Now, the online course, what's that you're taking?
It's Gothic literature.
Oh.
And
so,
intro to anthropology.
Oh yes, and
He's taking 2
introduction to
online.
anthropology as well.
Oh, okay. So a lot of that tie back to your writing. So many of them, I can see where you're kind of the archaeology, anthropology. They really do have similar, very different, but still an interesting passion for yourself. I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm just sort of interested in that whole sort of sphere of like liberal stuff like that, like writing and learning about the past and history and how it affects us today.
Sure, absolutely. And what do you hope to gain from some of these, other than, you've got another credit towards your degree. Will this, you said you were a senior?
I am, yes.
You're a senior. So when you graduate, you'll have these college courses already in your pocket. So if you choose to go on to college, you'll be able to apply those?
Yeah, as far as I know, the Dartmouth credits are transferable. So
Great.
yeah, I was just sort of interested in taking the Dartmouth course in archaeology specifically as like an exploratory look into that field, because I was thinking about possibly studying archaeology in college. So it was a great way to get an introduction
Sure.
to that and see if
That's great.
it fit me.
So that might kind of change the road for you in the future, or help straighten the road out with some thoughts that you might have down the line.
Damon actually had earned all of his credits to graduate by the end of his junior year. So he really set himself up to do all the things this year that he really wanted to do. And he's very interested in traveling abroad and doing different studies around that. So
It's really wonderful. So I was going to ask you about time management. You must have a real good skill on time management.
Yeah, it does trick you a little bit from time to time. I go to Dartmouth on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and during the school day, and I try to use that time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to participate in my online courses. And I just try to find time during the week to write a little bit for my creative writing thing.
Sure.
because he's in classes at the high school as well. So
In
on
addition.
top of it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It gets a little much at times, but I'm
Yeah.
able to manage it.
Yeah,
yeah.
good for you. Well, great. It sounds like an awful lot of homework to me. But obviously, you're very committed, and you are good at time management, because finishing up by junior year, that's something to be applauded in itself. And so how many students do you have currently, Joy, in the ELO program right now?
Well, we have 133 students as of today, and the numbers go up and down, by a few depending on the time of year.
Sure.
And there are a lot of students who like to do ELOs over the summer when they're not doing their other classes, so it really does vary. And students really do have to have great time management skills because there are expectations in all of the ELOs they take as well as their regular academics.
Okay, yes. Now, can a student come to you at any time and present an idea for an ELO?
Yes, pretty much they can. Generally, it's students who are sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We
see.
do have a few freshmen, primarily because all the required courses that freshmen need to take and for their acclimation and transition from middle school to high school, it doesn't necessarily lend itself to that.
Okay.
So, you know, but as you could hear, Sam, at the end of her freshman year, chose to do 2 ELOs over the summer. And as a sophomore, she's also looking at another one. Raph is a junior. He started his at the end of his sophomore year. So it really depends on where you're at. But pretty much it's anybody in grades 9 through 12 can
That's great.
participate.
That's wonderful. So, Damon, what do you hope to, or what is your plan for your presentations?
Well, I actually did the same creative writing ELO last year, and what I ended up doing was just reading a few short excerpts from some of the short stories that I ended up producing throughout the year in front of a few teachers and a few students.
Yes.
And with one of the interesting things about Damon's writing is he does this with a teacher at the high school, Rod Keller, who's been a teacher for many years, who's retiring this year. And Rod was so impressed with Damon's writing that he said to me, I'm retiring this year and I have a lot going on, but I am willing to do an ELO with Damon if he's interested. And his writing is such good quality that he was very, as a teacher, inspired by his student and vice versa.
That must have made you feel
Pretty good, yeah.
pretty good. Oh, good. I bet it did. Good for you. And for your Dartmouth class, what kind of a presentation will you do for that? Will you also just do a final paper, or?
Because it's a college credit, he doesn't have to do a separate panel
I see.
presentation.
Okay.
It's only when students are doing something outside, like he
I
will
see,
earn
I
college
see.
credit for
'Cause
that.
that's more of a traditional.
Correct.
I got it.
Correct. But even just the process of students who take classes at Dartmouth, just the registration process, going through it, all the signatures. And Damon takes the AT because he doesn't drive it yet. And so he, you know, navigated all of those types of things and then being able to get back in time and really being independent.
Yes. Well, it sounds like passion. You get to do something you really love to do, a passion, and learn real life experiences as far as that might pay off in the future, as far as where you may decide, if you decide to go to college, what you might study or what you might want to be. And all the other life skills. I think that's really what I'm taking away from the ELOs quite a bit, is like you were talking, Joy and Damon, about your time management and real life skills, which I think are real important today.
Sure, because the students have to be able to express what they've learned. They have to be able to communicate it. They have to be able to write it. All of those components, they have to be able to do research. So all of those components, which no matter what type of job you have, requires you to incorporate those types of skills. And one of the areas that we really do impress upon students is the reflection piece, because so many of us don't take the time to reflect on our own learning. And that's a very critical component when you're doing something so individualized.
Okay, that's great. Well, do you see any of the processes from ELOs even maybe transitioning into more of a traditional classroom?
I think some components, we have many of our traditional teachers also offer ELOs to students. So we have courses like women's studies, and a variety of different teachers offer things that students either can't fit in their schedule,
Sure.
or there's not enough students that are interested in it. but there's enough students that the teacher says, well, I'm still willing to do this. So again, it goes back to the teacher then guides the student. They meet with them once a week or more frequently depending on what they decide.
I see.
And they really come up with something that's going to meet all their needs.
That's great. Good. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your ELO, Damon, or?
I just think that they're a great opportunity to take advantage of, to explore your interests and to further your education by just doing things that you're passionate about. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity to do that through this school.
Yeah, that is great. So you would recommend them to your friends?
Yeah, I have plenty of friends who do them anyway.
Oh, do you?
So,
That's great. That's awesome. Well, that's good. So, well, I think that's about all we have for time today. And I'd love to have you back, Damon, when you are wrapping things up, and maybe even have you come and maybe read to us or something.
okay.
That'd be great.
All right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd love to have that.
Thank
if you
you.
come back to Joy.
We'd be happy to.
Oh, great. I would love that. So thank you all for being here today for our community chat, and we look forward to talking with you in the future. I'll be bringing you different programs and different folks within the school district. And of course, you may also visit the school district website and the district calendar at sau88.net. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.